Yeah, ask a question. I was just gonna pee here. Put your wiener away, brother. God damn it, Kubanka. You can smell a wench a mile away. Nothing we can do about it, huh? Well, well, well. I'm gonna ask you Baker some questions now. What now? Hey, how's it going, Sean Quirk? How do I feel about Charlie Kirk being murdered? I think it's a sad thing. I think people have become too extreme and they've gone out of their way to do insanely things, which is just going to spark the fires even harder because there's a culture of back and forth revenge lately. So it's pretty bad. How old am I? I'm 31. Nathan Quit, how you doing? Welcome in, brother. We're also streaming on my main channel as well, playing some video games, playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But yeah, the whole Charlie Kirk situation is horrible, and I'm in a way I'm not surprised how many people are coming together on behalf of it, because like I never really I didn't subscribe to the guy, but I've watched at least 12 of his videos or more, you know. And I can't say I agree with everything he said, but he definitely doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. Nobody does. He wasn't like a bad guy in my books. Start digging. Peace. Hey, did we find anything? Snaps. Move the camera there a little bit better. But yeah, feel free to ask questions. We're live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube on the main channel playing some video games. And then we have a live stream here where I just see new people come in and we'll shoot the shit for a bit. How are you this evening? And what are you playing? I'm playing some Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'll show you guys. We're live streaming for the rest of the other audiences too. It's a medieval game that takes place in Bohemia, and it's a history focused video game. Why did I start playing this game? I played the first one and I really enjoyed it a lot. And it was also first off, go back a little farther. I practice sport called HEMA, and I also fight with the SCA, which is medieval sparring, all different kinds of weapons, full contact. I have I don't know if you can see it on this side. I have my swords hanging up right there in the corner, and I fight in steel. And it's a fun sport. It's it gets all my aggression out nicely. Can I have mod, please? No. You gotta become a part of this community to get a mod and earn it. May I ask something kind of on the political side? Yeah, go ahead, Samuel. I know my moral compass, and I know what I believe in, and I know I feel like I'm very grounded in my beliefs and what I follow politically. So I feel like I'm pretty good at answering those kind of things. What is my thoughts on Charlie Kirk? Someone already asked that. Nobody deserves to be assassinated like that, and I believe that our country's super divisive right now, and people are at each other's throats, and this is just only going to spark more violence, which I'm not okay with. I'm very independent in my voting, and I think if people can't handle someone's opinions and they can't do the let live thing, that's pretty bad, you know? Go ahead and tell me your guys' thoughts on it too in chat. You know, I'm able to have a reasonable chat about these kind of things without losing my shit, because there's I don't feel a reason to get angry over these kind of topics. I agree so much. I know that I might be just a team, but it's true. Yeah, it's just, and I could go back and think about like the line of events that led this things. Like, I'm not for Trump either, but I feel, especially now with the Epstein stuff, it's like before I care about what any politician's doing in our country, the Epstein file needs to be figured out. The entire investigation needs to be finished and concluded, and the bad people involved in child sex trafficking need to get their justice and find prison time or whatever happens, you know, before I can start really trusting in politicians again and Hollywood actors and stuff like that. Because my like, I guess or prediction is that there's a lot of people in the Epstein files right now that are in really dirty, and as soon as that comes falling apart, and if it does, and I hope it does, it's just going to lead to more of the acceleration of our country right now. And it's like I don't know who I can trust exactly because of that list. Do you see the current events happening in the movie Civil War that came out in the Star 25? Do you see the comparison? I don't think we're going to have a civil war in the way the movie describes it. I don't think we might not even have a traditional civil war, as it were. I think a lot of people are going to do some stupid shit. They're going to find themselves in prison. They're going to find themselves in worse situations. And we have the biggest military in the world. So I think there'll be some moments of like martial law and stuff. But I don't know if I can predict a full-blown civil war yet. I don't know about that. Yeah, you know what, really, because I didn't like Trump to begin with, right? But when he promised to release the Epstein files, like, okay, that's good. It's a good thing he's doing. I'm like, I'm all for that. And then he backtracked and being like, no, why are we still talking about this? We're not going to release this. It's like, I've known enough liars in my life to be like, there's something fishy going on. Are you involved in this, bud? Type thing, you know? And like, I was just like, you know, at this point, I was like, you know, Trump's not that great, so we'll get a new president in 4 more years, whatever. But now this whole Epstein file stuff, it's just like, this needs to be figured out. This needs to be figured out as soon as possible, because as soon as the next time voting comes around, I want to know that that's been concluded, and the people the people involved in the trafficking are actually, you know, getting, you know, sentenced properly. Um, so next election sounds kind of like a hard thing to want to vote in if like anyone running for like presidency are on those lists or have been known to be close friends to Epstein. I'm like, I don't want anybody in government, anyone in Hollywood, anyone in power, uh, like in our political system whatsoever, because it's bad. I'm currently in DC, and people are afraid to even go to the store. He's doing a lot. He is doing a lot, but it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, he could do the things that I want to get accomplished, but he's already pushed some things too far, in my opinion. Um, at the same time, he's the kind of person who stokes more um, division than unity. Like with Charlie Kirk's death, it's definitely a time to call for unity and not, name blaming. Because there's a lot of people out there who fan the flames. They're obvious. We know who those are. We know who does that because they make themselves loud. But I'd rather have another president solving these issues besides Trump, somebody who's more moral. I prefer a more moral person doing what Trump's doing because I feel like I'm an independent, so like I believe a country should have its borders and stuff. I think people should come through the like right ports of entry. I also think a lot of our systems need to be revamped to be cleaner, more forward, more focused. I think, in the words for like a video gamer, we need to up our meta on the systems and tighten, deal with some of the bureaucracy, figure out how to make things run smoother. Is essentially what I'm getting at. Grease the engine. Because right now we have like all these infrastructure issues that are problems that makes our country run like shit because of like shitty web pages, like old documents, all these extra things that you don't need to do that like muck up the system. Like it's a wide level of issues. But I didn't like Biden either. I didn't like Trump. I didn't like Kamala. The last president or last person running for president that I was actually interested in seeing run was like Andrew Yang because he's a smart guy. He's also a businessman, but he's also like understands systems really well. So he could have been somebody who's really good for our infrastructure. Because I also believe that we should focus more on our country. I think we should focus more on our education systems. I think we should fund more money into our education system so we have less useful idiots. But the thing is, both people on both sides, of the platforms love useful idiots. Because I also don't like a two-party system either. I think it's dumb. I also think I'm going to hit a bunch of things that I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's been on my mind. I also think we should have like a time limit in Senate too. You can only serve so many years, like in important roles in the government. That we keep getting fresh people in, and I think there should be advisor roles for the younger people to come in to have like people who've experienced the world be able to advise them as well. I think we definitely should have term limits on more things than just the presidency itself, because I feel like our country, especially with how fast as a species we are developing technologically, like our systems are not fast enough to keep up with the advancements of technology, the advancements of everything. So I definitely have a lot more different beliefs when it comes to that kind of stuff. Let's resume the game that I'm playing. But yeah, feel free to ask more questions. I'm open to it, and if you ask me to explain things, I feel like if I start digging deeper into these things, I can explain them better. But these topics are topics I think about all the time, and I have I feel pretty grounded opinions that I've thought about for a fairly long time. He has taking the money for special ed services. My son, the special has kicked yet, but what happens now? Honestly, I know Trump's been moving money around a lot of places. Like he said he was going to support the veterans and never actually put money towards it, and actually over time taking more money away from veterans. And another thing too is like I don't care about like overseas wars. I think it's important to have a strong military presence, but we don't need to be involved in like tons of other countries. I think once we can like really focus on our own infrastructure, our own education, putting money into schools so kids have more opportunities. Um, you know, like another thing that should be taught more of is like how our system as a country works to younger people, so that they don't go into it blind, falling into pitfalls or not understanding it, or not even engaging with it because it's too hard to understand for them. So teaching people about how to do taxes and how to do all these basic things that you have to do as an adult in our country is really important to teach as well. Um, I know our country has needed a lot of reworking. The issue is when you have somebody extreme like Trump reworking the country, it's going to lead to the other side reworking the country again, who are just as extreme. So it's just going to be a pendulum swinging back and forth. It's not going to make as much progress because it's like it's like in a sense, it's like the other side's always trying to bite the balls off the other side every time they get an opportunity to. That's why I don't really subscribe to Republicans or Democrats. We're also live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. We're also streaming on my desktop to some video games as well. But this little side stream here is to keep the conversation going because my channel is smaller and I don't always have chat going on other things. So I always try to. The topic caught you off guard. Yeah, I have on my gaming 22 on the. You know that I run to more than one stream going, and people are asking me questions, so I was answering them. And I can kind of go off on a tangent sometimes because there's a lot of things that have been on my mind coming to, especially when it comes to like politics in the United States and so on. But everyone has their opinion; they're welcome to it. I'm in the lane of like let live if you can. As long as you're not like hurting other people, you should be just fine. But one of the issues I have is like when you get to the point where you want to cause violence to others because you can't have a conversation is when I have an issue, you know? Another thing I want to call out right now too is it's been on my mind. So cancel culture. One side started it and another side's using it now. And I was saying this years ago that when people open up the can of worms of getting people fired from their jobs for their opinions and things they say on the internet, I was never okay with in the beginning when the left was doing it, and that the right's doing it more because they are, you know, in a way, kind of rightfully angry about things going on. But still, it's like you definitely should report people who are like actively calling to action for violence. If you're making a call to action for violence, or you're threatening to do violence, then of course you should probably lose your job. You should probably be investigated and stuff like that. But if you just have an opinion where you're just like, I feel this way about this situation, like cancel culture has definitely gone so goddamn out of control. And it goes both ways. It's one of those things where if one person uses it, the other people are going to use it against you, type thing. It definitely only gets worse. Almost lost this guy up here. But that's kind of what's been on my mind for this kind of things. But I also have a YouTube channel called Sinnix, which is more focused on politics. Honestly, I should start streaming there more too, through my phone and just talk about things as time goes on and so on. Because I think it's important to have conversations about topics because that's how you change for the better. Sometimes for the worse, but mostly you can change for the better over time as... Oh, we're about to get into a good scene here. We're going to hold on this topic and go focus on the game here. There's Zizka. Good old Jan Zizka. Feel free to line up some more questions. I'll answer here, but we're focused on this right now. It was purgatory. It definitely was. He's just a prick. Good old hand cannons. So I'll explain the game really quick one more time before the scene goes on. So if you go check out my channel, you can see if you want to jump into the chat of the video games, you can see what's going on. I'm live both on my phone for this channel and on my desktop. But it's a historical piece that takes place, I think it's between the 1400s and 1500s. So gunpowder is just coming around. Hand cannons are being made. It's a historical piece that takes place in Bohemia. Uh, so the game's overarching story happened in real life, but the interactions between the characters, you have to figure out what happened because we weren't there. So they kind of tell a story through Bohemia during the crisis where King Wenceslas and his brother were at odds for the crown in the throne. So this is like the second game in that series about like where things are headed towards in Bohemia at the time, and this is from the perspective of a character named Henry, who was a young peasant boy who had he was a bastard, and his father is actually a lord. So that's kind of what's going on here. I fucking love Dry. Dry Devil's a great character. He's properly scary too. I absolutely love this scene. This is such a good scene. It's both. There's hand cannons and there's sword fighting. Right now, this scene, ambushes happened and they missed all their shots because the guns were accurate in that time period. Poor Dry Devil got hit with a crossbow bolt in the leg. That's what we're talking about right there. I'm thinking we had a nice long stream today. I'm thinking about ending it here soon. I'm getting a little tired. Sorry, one second. There we go. Oh yeah, sneak it on me. Rescue the dry devil, but I'm bleeding now, so we gotta heal others. Got hit from behind. I guess he wants me to fast forward. I feel like there was more to this scene. I'm from California originally, but I in the United States moved to America. Sorry, I moved to from the United States. I moved to Oregon, in the United States. Fucking, you see how tired I am. Oh, the game will be here tomorrow, but we got to get to a good wrapping up point to save. And then we're gonna wrap this stream up too. And I appreciate you guys coming in to watch. Thank you for hanging out. And we'll do another stream tomorrow. I'm gonna get some rest. I had a long day of work. Take care, everyone.